What's good, y'all? Riley Beats here, and today we are going to be talking about the secret sauce for how to make dark trap melodies. And this isn't just like oh, here's how to make a dark trap beat. No, we're going to get in depth with this. If you could leave a like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that. You would greatly appreciate that. The community would greatly appreciate that. And you know what? It might make it so that the world finds peace. True peace. No more any conflict, just peace. Let's get right into it. I think I'm gonna go D minor because that's like the most stereotypical scale. Bass note wise, I'm gonna keep it very simple. I'm just gonna go like this. Also, I need to set the BPM. Let's go 152. Alright, I'm gonna turn that into some chords. So a little breakdown moment. This is one semitone away from these here. So that's just gonna add a little bit of tension. And this, because this note's consistent, it's gonna be making the chords transition a bit smoother overall. That's just kind of like the sauce right there. Nothing too crazy. I'm gonna add a little bit of bounce, but I really want to tease like this space here. Make it feel like something should be going on, and then I'll have something go on here. I'm gonna make that very repetitive, kind of make it catchy, but also make it like super simplistic. That's kind of the vibe I'm going for with that, I think. I'm also gonna slow it down. I feel like it's too fast. Go 138 instead. Now let's add like a little bit of a top line flare kind of vibe. So kind of what I'm doing here is when I have these moments, I want the top line to have some contrary motion, so these are moving in opposition to each other. I also wanted a lot of tension going on here, so I have a bunch of notes that are just a semitone apart, cause some tension like here, here, and here, as well as here, here, pretty much all over the place. So let's change the instrument for now. I'm gonna go to Omnisphere because I feel like Omnisphere is more of my generic trap kind of sounds. I don't know if that's just me. I like my Electra X, but I like it for like more ambient kind of stuff. I don't know what kind of sound I'm going for. Let's just explore. Yo, that's gas. It's gorgeous. I was gonna gross beat it and half speed it. By the way, the preset I'm about to use is in the 10K mega kit, which is free to download on my website. It's literally just rileybeats.com under kits. But I don't know anymore because like it sounds fire, but here's what it would sound like with the preset. I think to add some depth to the melody, I'll just put it at half, like 50%. Alright, I'm gonna clone this. We're gonna add like a flute or something like that. And I think I'll add like a pad just to fill out some space. This is kind of how like I do my sound selection. I kind of explore. Like typically I'll make a MIDI and I'll have something in mind. My initial idea was kind of like a bell or like some kind of pluck, but very quickly I was like, I clicked on that keys preset and I was like, this is fire. I'm gonna use it. And bam, here we are. What if I just do this? gonna copy it over and then just change up the rhythm a bit. We'll leave it very simple. Again, with this, like I have these notes I'm holding and I have a little bit of flair in between, but really these notes that I'm holding are gonna be kind of the tension, and then it goes back into a little bit more tension, which will get a little bit more resolved with the other notes that we got going on. I just need a pad. Yo, low-key, this melody's pretty clean. But honestly, like the biggest takeaway y'all should take away from this video, if you can say takeaway any more times, I just did. But the thing that you should really kind of grasp from this is that dark beats are very simplistic most of the time, with a good amount of tension being added. That's kind of pretty much the sauce. Just add tension and resolve it. And the way to resolve it is pretty much by doing something that's like really kind of basic, so to say, you know? Oftentimes, like if you're doing some simple tension stuff like that where it's just semitone apart, you can resolve it pretty easily. But you want to build the tension first. Let's find a pad. This is where we're gonna struggle with sound selection for sure, because I don't have a pad in mind, and I don't think I'll just magically stumble on one like I did with the first sound. But with the pad, I'm just gonna lay down the chord. I'm just gonna EQ everything, and kind of the sauce for me when I EQ my sounds is pretty much just making sure they all have room for each other. Like you can have stuff playing at the exact same octave, as long as you make room for everything, you should be good. And so what I like to do with my melodies, I'm noticing it's hitting here mostly like at around 632, 1363 to be precise. So I may boost there, and I'll probably cut some of the other spots, but I want to see where everything else is hitting most, and I'll see what I can do. So the flute, I want it to hit more here actually, and I'm gonna round here because that's where the main melody is hitting most, and where I'm planning to probably boost it a bit. So I'll drop it about like 2.5 decibels. I'll boost this a little bit, just like a decibel and a half maybe. And this really won't change the sound a whole lot, mainly just making room. I'll drop here a bit. Because realistically, like this section is just for depth, and I don't need the depth to shine through too much. And the pad, which is more of like a texture than really a melodic component, I can bring down a fair bit around here. It's mostly going to be hitting around here. I'm just going to cut here a good bit, and then I'll boost the low of it, like the low mids. And then the way I like to EQ my melodies is I like to have my main melody in mind, and I kind of EQ everything in relation to it. So like my flute, I would EQ in relation to it, but I want to make it hit at a level where I want my drums to hit first. So like I'm thinking of this in relation to my drums, and then I might dump it to a melody bus, and from there just turn down the melody bus. And one thing that I really love about just adding like a texture layer, like a pad like this, is you can take out the main melody and still have everything play, and it'll still sound good, and it can kind of make like a nice little switch up. And vice versa, you can take out the counter melody and do the same thing. Let's throw drums on this. I'm also going to throw my master preset on to the master. All right, let's get drums. Go for some like generic trap drums. All right, I'm gonna keep that very simple. Let's throw some hi-hats in here. Low key, I might just throw in a hi-hat MIDI. Let's mess around with it a bit. So the making room point, you need to do the same with your 808, because your 808 is kind of a melodic component, not really. It's like a drum, but it's a melodic drum. One of the only drums that is melodic. I feel like my melody clashes just a little bit, so I'm gonna cut out a little bit of low end from the melody. Also, I get a lot of questions about how I make my 808s hit. I don't do a lot to my 808s. I'm gonna show you. I just turn up the velocity. Some of them I have the velocity turned down, like when it goes to higher notes. For EQ, I'll EQ slot a kick if I have one, but I'm not gonna use a kick this time around. And sometimes I'll boost the low mids just to give it a little bit more high end. Just from a personal preference standpoint, you don't have to do that. And then I just make it clip and then soft clipper on the master. That's pretty much it. You don't need to do too much else. It's pretty simple to make your 808s hit. It's just like it's gotta click. There's a Metro Boomin video out there, and this is like exactly what he says. He says he just like pitches his snares down when he wants to make them sound a bit more evil. I was just thinking about that while I did that. If you want to add more impact to your 808s, you can just throw an open hat on the 808. It'll sound more impactful. Let's say you want to accent like a certain snare. Something you can do is just add like a reverse open hat leading into the snare. Usually it sounds pretty good. I'll show an example of it. Me personally, I like to cut my snare right when or not my snare. I like to cut the open hat when the snare. So yeah, here's an example of that. And then to even accentuate it further, you can add a perk with the snare. Let's see if I have a good perk for that. I'm gonna throw this in as an accent snare, just because I want to add a little bit more bounce to the drums. Let's arrange this real quick, and then the beat will be done. Pretty simple beat. So I'm gonna have it come in like this. Flute intro could be cool though. That's pretty much the whole video. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate every one of you. And again, I don't even really have an outro. Yo, let me know down in the comments what the outro should be, because we need to like get an outro or something. Because I don't know, my YouTube outro game weak. Very, very weak. But again, thank you all very, very much for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And here's the full thing.